Worry never robs tomorrow of its sorrow. It only saps the joy out of today. On the surface, the Sadducees were confident. They were content with the way life was. As part of the second largest group of religious leaders at the time, they didn't bother concerning themselves with thoughts of an afterlife, the resurrection, or even a Messiah. They were content to just live life as it came, following God's rules to the best of their ability and assuming that when life ended, that was it. Many in our world also live this way. At least on the surface, they appear unfazed by conversations about death or mortality and live only for today. In fact, social media and many messages on TV and radio are filled with quotes and poems and songs about living for today, focusing on ourselves, and not putting any stock in what might be around the corner. In this way, the Sadducees, these religious leaders who confront Jesus this morning, would have fit right in with many in our world today. But the thing is, if they were truly content, would they be attacking Jesus with this ridiculous hypothetical question? If they were truly unconcerned about what came after this life, why are they trying so hard to prove Jesus wrong? I don't know about you, but it's when something rubs me the wrong way or threatens my way of thinking that I start coming up with these big hypothetical questions, asking questions, pushing limits. When I'm actually content, I don't go around attacking others or worrying about tomorrow. It's when I feel threatened that I do these types of things. So on the surface, the Sadducees are not worried, but there seems to be an undercurrent, something pushing them to ask Jesus this long-shot hypothetical question about 7 brothers who marry a woman and all die childless, hoping that they can discredit Jesus, remove him as a threat in their world. But Jesus doesn't fall into the trap. He doesn't start fishing for answers to this hypothetical question. Instead, he gets at the heart of what they are concerned about. Because when we get to the heart of worry, the heart of the Sadducees' attack, we see a fear that maybe we haven't quite gotten it right. We see a question of how much of God's law will remain in heaven. And while these men focused on the idea, the vocation of marriage, we can focus on any calling in life. They could just as well as ask Jesus which career they would have in heaven. Would they be a babysitter like in high school, or like an English teacher that they retired from? Would they be a garbage collector or the manager of the waste management company? Would they have land, or is everyone retired in heaven? And so we hear these same far-out hypothetical questions being asked today. Will I recognize these people in heaven? Will I know people that I haven't met in this life? What age will we be when we get to heaven? And all of these hypothetical questions hold at their core a concern for which aspects of the law, of the rules, of our understanding of time will be in place when our hearts stop beating. And to a great extent, we can blame this on our nature because we can't comprehend the idea of living apart from the rules and regulations, written and unwritten, that guide our lives. We can't identify who we are without putting ourselves in relationship to others. We can't understand eternity because we struggle with a 1-hour time change twice a year. But blaming our sinful nature doesn't remove the title of sinner from us. In fact, it shows us how in bondage to sin we are, that we try to find these ways, ask these questions, that we can get it right, that we can be the ones in the know of what will come after this life. And so Jesus traps us in our sin, just as he did with the Sadducees. He leaves no way out but for us to confess that we worry about the future, that we don't always trust that he is the way, that we wonder if heaven could really be better than this life, that we live for ourselves and for today without recognizing that our lives do have a purpose and that our lives don't just belong to us. Because we worry about what heaven will be like, what our relationships with exes, children, spouses, employers, neighbors will look like at the resurrection. We worry about things in this life. If we're good enough at our job, smart enough to join the conversation, competent enough to sign up, enough to even risk saying hello. And these worries are killing us. These hypothetical questions that run through our mind drive us crazy. It may be one of the most common phrases that I hear in my office. This is killing me. My relationship is killing me. The state of our nation is killing me. Waiting for these test results is killing me. This fight is killing me. Having to drive through town is killing me. And yes, all of these things that worry us and stress us out are in fact leading to our death. They suck up our energy, they take up our time, and they force us to choose between the sin of self-preservation and the sin of idolizing other things and other people. But today, Jesus has good news for you that the Sadducees were unable to hear. No matter what you are struggling with, hiding from, living with, ignoring, or worrying about, it does not get the last word over you. Whatever it is in this life that is killing you, weighing you down, keeping you from focusing on God and your neighbor, be it your grades or your marriage, how many fields have been harvested or how much debt you have, the health of your parents or the test results that you're waiting for, those things do not define you, nor will they ever. Because those are the laws of this world, and they don't hold a candle to what God thinks of you. The things, the worries, the stresses of this world bring about death in many and various ways. But to God, you will never die. Jesus is the resurrection and the life, and we know that our Redeemer lives. Amen.